climate change need not be defined, introduced to you in any way. We all have come to see the effects of it, and it does not affect how we behave, the choices we make, the practices we do daily. As farmers stand here and comment the effect, embassy, it is not something that what we need to know is coming up with this initiative and inviting GBC, let it affect how we behave. The train starts in choices we make, the practices we do daily to go through. That is how the train. So today we start the train and see how we can increase sensitization, adoption, understanding, awareness creation of issues pertaining to climate change. And I want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. Thank you. German embassy, but not the one I yell upon our tap. I can't GBC, you know, I'm not going to and I'm going to do home and yard. Someone so I know I got a part. Yeah, so Umpanaka, Yellow Jawi, or Kanya Jadi Accra, Beneka, and that message will be to whom upon the assumed to me. Car, so Umpanaka, I yell Pili one check, Statakwa, Vasaba, Jamestown, Accra. So Yellow. Gratulabaka, Bunajum Bonaka, climate change, resilient woman, creating. I appear to boom, yet dark tinga, Anamaya, and Lagaya, because I'm a jazzing and caravan plants in the head. Now, Cornelia elements would have won. To Gra, Director General Aya, Anatolaka, to the Dambla.
So that is the opening for us. You've already heard our Director General, Professor Amin, mention the German ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Daniel Crow. We want to hear from him, and then we'll still roll the process. It's climate talks, we want to remind you. So even after this discussions, as we push for solutions. So His Excellency.
Climate talks here in VAR. Professor Amin Al-Hassan, thank you, the entire team of Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, for your trust in joining forces with us here in this exciting train ride, as you described it. Dear farmers, listeners and viewers out there, friends of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. It's about, climate talks is about talking about climate change and the challenges we are all facing. Fears are the main contributor to the greenhouse gases in the past. So they have caused all this trouble. Africa only contributed maybe around 4 to 5% of all greenhouse emissions so far. On the other side, the major impact of climate change is severely on Africa, on Ghana, including the VAR region. So we, as one of the countries that has contributed in the past, we want to reach out to Ghana and learn and better understand your challenges and make you talk. Make you talk to us, but make you also talk to decision makers in your countries who hopefully then will also take your challenges and your needs to the international climate talks, the international climate negotiations that are ongoing, where interesting programs are set up for countries like Ghana. It's climate talks in plural, so as Prof. rightly said, this is only the start, and we hope we will have more interesting climate talks coming. It's about talking, but at the same time it's also about listening. We want, and with this I hope we have some very exciting panelists coming up here, and I share the joy of Prof. Amin Al-Hassan. I'm very happy that I see so many young faces here in the audience, because in the end to all the students here present. And with this, I would like to kick off the climate talks in VA. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. So it means the ball has now been set rolling. And as Prof has mentioned, there will be discussions based on the people who are directly engaged in the farming activities. His Excellency Daniel Krul, thank you so much for initiating it together with your team and getting GBC to be part of it. To say that a station that is also in WA is glad to associate itself with it. Info Radio, we thank you so much for also agreeing that you want to support this very important process. So, you know, a good thing is always supported. We appreciate that concern and would like all to join in. I know you want to break it down a little bit. Yes.
Thank you very much. So, here now we are Mba, my Excellency Daniel Krul, Jama Ambassador, Ambigana. We are ayala gratula ka blood suna buntum bona ka climate change sa wale onan turu na tana blana tana una yalan ja ahenka ti yala yala ki ba yala ne kungu ki nan min yala ne chalaha o yalan ka ki nan ka je kan umbo northern hemisphere yin labla paranga amam tare industrial countries amam produce bungu te ka America he Russia num bomba num mambe ka turo ga man wana ana tanga to me ka Africa men mai Russia to no bunda bai bew sin anu ba ga hu yala hu bana ya belana sunna ka nuba wara ja kar yala karna yala me to yala biman yala adai chanan bunda ban wona ka duty bera ka president hu tela uban ka yalan se yala ana to la ne ko ban ba ma to yalan ka yala ja professor Amin an yala ono ja jugunye bantara so umpana yan dorte jele deja imbe venka yaka ade janan climate change bi war le obana pampana oyanka ono professor Amin to ana biya na mun san aw bi bilinga an tonna e ka yele ga bayya karba ne goma abuga tera ga biya radio apostle 90.1 FM jele deja imbe tintara ne na professor bunga Gladys Way.
Thank you very much. Sometimes if you manage to swing between the two, all I learned in the Dagari language was to tell you Afuzunu Mena. So it's good for you. But we are still trying to manage the little we can. You've already heard from two of our very important dignitaries here, but we've not finished because you can see that this is the Farmers Forum. So we still have a lot of other dignitaries coming. But as they come, we'll introduce them to you. But let me mention those we have here for now. Professor Amin Al-Hassan is Director General of the GBC. You've heard from him already. His Excellency Daniel Krul is the German Ambassador to Ghana. You've heard from him too already. We also have Mr. George Lomote, who is the Director of Marketing, the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. He's joining us here. Thank you so much. Can we see you? Good. Thank you. And we told you that for what we are doing, it is right on the laps of our regional station here. That is Radio Upper West. So when we talk about Radio Upper West, we have the one in charge here, the acting regional director, Mr. Christopher Esiedu. Thank you so much. We're giving him a few sleepless nights as we started moving around. Chris, we really appreciate you. We'll introduce all our traditional leaders very soon, but I want to mention that we had here representing them right from the beginning, and she was with us whilst we were out on the field too, Pogna Imoro Najak, who is the Nakori Pogna. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for coming. Then we have Zabian Aberiga, who is coming from the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, WA. We had a very good interaction with your head too yesterday. Thank you so much for the support you're offering here. And then we have, still from EPA, George Koji Konta. Thank you. Thank you. Anytime we talk about the environment, please, you can also see them because they have a lot to share with you, but they tell us practical measures are very important. From the Department of Agric, we also have Haruna Umar Babangida. So we have, thank you very much for coming. And we have a good team from GDC also supporting it. Can we see your hands, please? Because you've been working so much here. We really appreciate you. And behind the scenes, Sylvester Eliasu, John, technical, Eliasu, Masduke, and then Seydou Bomanjo is already here with me. And Madame Gladys Wayne, thank you very much for all coming to support this important endeavor. And as we Hajara Guba from the German Embassy, thank you to come. Good. Bomanjo, about the greenhouse at a point in time, and you wondered whether it's a house that will be painted in green.
I'm so confused.
I'm so confused.
You are so confused.
At least I'm enlightenment.
Okay, the moment you take your phone at a time that you should be resting, then it means that you have something sort of a green house, and the effect is coming upon you. But let me say to all our nurses joining us here, we appreciate you coming. You get to hear their names very soon. They were all supporting when we were in Accra, when we were talking about the issues. But we come to an important part of our program now. It's intense discussions, and it's about people who are directly involved in farming and also seeing the impact. When we talk about farming, what are we talking about here?
I can't speak English, so I'll speak the local.
Okay, I know you can combine because I've told you I have to zoom in already.
So today you're like Pobia. Where can you get in Tana? I like share Manhattan Tana. So today you're like Pobia.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So you appreciate it. So when the rains are not coming, the farmers are sad, but we who benefit from it are also sad. What is happening to us? We now want to welcome to the stage somebody you always see in the morning talking about all the issues, from politics to all the other social factors, and we discuss it not to create confusion, but to try to find solutions to our problems. Chelma Taki is with GTV, and to say GDC Accra. She is going to be our moderator, and as she gets here, she will be introducing the panel members who will also be doing justice. But let me still inform you that we are having an exhibition on the side. So when we take a short break, we can quickly go there because GIZ has come in all its different ways to help us. Tell me. We are not welcoming anyone to breakfast show this morning.
No, but I'll say Andre to everybody gathered here. Good afternoon to you all. It's such a pleasure that I have been called upon to be a part of this program. I think that climate change affects all of us, and we should all be interested in how these current patterns affect our livelihoods. Your Excellency, Ambassador Daniel Kroll, Embassy of the Republic of Germany in Accra, Director General of GBC, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, Director of Marketing, GBC, Mr. George Lomote. In Accra, we would say Nime, Kename, our chiefs and queen mothers gathered here today, our media partners, dear students, fellow journalists. It all appeared to be a science fiction to begin with. Some even considered it to be doom-mongering and a way of causing fear and panic. To a large extent, the prediction was for a future that many thought will be very far away in the future. But before our very eyes, that future has come too soon. Over the past 3 days, on this very first trip for me to the Upper West region, I've seen with my own eyes withered crops due to the erratic rainfall patterns. I've seen reduced yields the farmers are telling us in recent times. I've witnessed the destruction that floods have brought to farmers, lost in thought, and how they now know no way out of. Things are never the same again. And with regards to the weather and farming, rain-fed agriculture is so badly hit. What is the nature of the situation and what can be done? The indubitable fact remains that climate change is here with us, and the challenges are telling. Welcome to Climate Talks, a Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, GBC, and Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany collaboration. As we've heard from our previous speakers, in climate talks, our objective is to reach those who are affected by the climate crisis, for them to present their situation as we work from the base to find solutions. On this occasion, as we take off in WA, our concentration is on our farmers. How can we push climate resistance agriculture? My name is Thelma Take, and I'll be moderating this panel discussion. I'd like to welcome our panel members to the stage and for them to take their seats. The first woman I would call is Madame Maria Johanna Yorpor. Please put your hands together for her as she comes forward. She's a self-motivated young woman whose love for community work and enthusiasm for youth motivation and rural development is overwhelming. She's a regular radio panelist on issues around entrepreneurship, youth, women empowerment, and rural development. She has sat on various panel discussions and moderated a couple of events which are all geared towards sustainability of our environment. She's worked extensively with sorghum growing farmers in Drapa, Nadoli Kalio, and Dafiama Busia Isa districts. And she is a key member of this panel. I'd like you to appreciate her once again. The second member of the panel I'd like to welcome to the table is another strong woman and a strong voice, a staff of the Department of Agriculture in the Dafiama Busia Isa district of this beautiful Upper West region, and she works as an agricultural extension agent for Busia operational area and a market enumerator for the district. Mrs. Mubarikata Yahya, please welcome to our podium, our panel table for this discussion. She's worked with ProNet North Ghana, a non-profitable organization based in the Wa municipality, and she's a field officer, so she has a lot of knowledge on what happens in the field. The only male member of our panel this afternoon, I'm happy to welcome Mr. Doho Sumaila to our panel as well. Put your hands together as he approaches. A 48-year-old commercial farmer in the Sisala East municipality. Started commercial farming in 2011. He is also a group leader of the Upper West Granite Producers Association. In addition to farming, Mr. Sumaila has established a company called Farmer Pride, and he supports 1,500 smallholder women farmers with technical and financial support. Yes, I thought you would find that very interesting. So these are the people who we'll be hearing from this afternoon, and we'll be picking some thoughts from you as well over the course of the conversation. I'll invite my colleague Saidu Bomanjo to translate what we've just said into the local language so that our people listening to us on Radio Upper West can understand what we are saying. Saidu.
Thank you very much. Climate change be warily over. I know any sleep letter. Say Ginny, and I'm meeting the bit already. So, Casareka was a Kaya beer. Udara the guy, not correct. We have got for a long hours. We wanted to pay you, and you're blended sap or what, and I'm and we are. Can you have you? Umpana car, and I'm then Kajini, one watch it, go away yellow. Yellow material, well, car, Jen Kaya, no one ambi, a yellow pool, around Bonmaja to Winnie, and then to Dow. So, Ginny, she a young giant, and I'm looking at yellow, iron, and yellow. I think I'm climate change be warily or and it's up and Cora being under a moodly, Tinjabi, Tora. So, I would like to hand over to you and then we start.
Thank you, Saidu. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this panel. We want to understand what the actual situation is on our farms and what our farmers are having to contend with as they go about their regular duties. Perhaps I'll start with you, Mobas. You have the mic already. Give us an idea of what your experience has been, because people think that climate change is still an abstract concept. Can you tell us how you've been adversely affected by climate change, and then what has changed over the past few years that make you believe that it is so?
There is climate change that is affecting our farmers, especially this year. The worst is happening this year since I joined agriculture department at the Fiamabuse district. There is a long shift of temperatures and rain patterns for the past 2 months today, which is affecting the crops that the farmers grow on their fields. They have planted their crops for over a month today. They can't apply fertilizer on the field because of low moisture in the soil. The rains are not coming, which is bringing more impact to their production. That is what I can say.
So we visited some farms in Accra on Monday and also went to the Duong community, and we saw some of the things that you talked about. Maria, what can you add to what GTV Ghana? Warm greetings from the group admins, and if you are not following Ghana Broadcasting Corporation or GTV Ghana, please do so now. We are streaming on Facebook. We are also streaming on YouTube at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and on X, formerly Twitter, on Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Thank you. Maria.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Elma. Good afternoon, Your Excellency. Good afternoon, Chief Director. Good afternoon, our chiefs and Pobnamine who are here with us. I am particularly extremely excited, though we have the challenges with the climate change, but I'm excited these talks are starting from the Upper West region. And we are glad and humbled to have a program. For the challenges, like my sister have already enumerated, some farmers haven't even had their seeds germinate, not to talk about it withering away. Some farmers have planted twice. Yes, so I spoke with one of the farmers 2 days ago. He had done a 20-acre maize farm. It didn't germinate the first time. He did a second one. It hasn't germinated again. 20 acres. So as to whether
Situate that for me, Maria. How much are you likely to get? How many bags of maize are you likely to get from a 20-acre farm?
So let's take it maximum at 10 by 20. That's 200 bags.
And that is likely to have gone down the drain because the rains have not come this year.
And he did it twice. And that is just one of the lots out there that I get to know the story.
At Excel Leadership Group, Excel Group, where you work,
yes,
you engage with the farmers to find out what the challenges are. Do you? Yes. I'll put this next question to the only male member on the panel, Mr. Doho Smiler. You work with some 1,500 farmers. What's your idea? What's your understanding of how worse or how bad the situation is when it comes to the lack of rains this year?
Thank you so much, Thelma. And I want to take this opportunity to thank our chiefs and all the other dignitaries, including my colleague farmers and students who are here. I must say, without any stretch of imagination, that the direction the German embassy has taken, if we have started this long since, we wouldn't have been where we are today. So it means that we are starting on a good foot, and we want to encourage more of this to continue. Talking about the effects, working with women, I must say it's pathetic. Pathetic in the sense that gone are the days as a farmer, every farmer used to have a production calendar. What it means is that every single crop that is produced by a farmer has a time that we need to go and plant. Today, farmers are here. Is it the case? If it's a yam, there's a specific month that will plant yam. If it's cowpea, it's a specific month we plant. If it's sorghum or millet, there's a specific month we plant. In that order. But today it's not like that. Why? Because the rainfall pattern has thrown everybody off gear. If you say that this is if you ask, they do ask in Wale, those who brought in yam are gone. Now we are talking about cowpea. So a few years ago, which is a women crop, few years ago, first rains, depending on the variety, what we call Chinese. People planted groundnut in May. June, we were supposed to be talking about uprooting. Is that not the case? Can we uproot them? So this is the effect. It is not about books. People will read and come and tell us. Those who planted and emerged, there's a high temperature, no rain. So they are supposed to flower. The flowering period, no rain, high temperature. Then we observe that all the flowers will drop.
And without flowers, the fruits cannot.
It is just like a system of production. Like human beings, let me come to human beings. You ovulate, you pick the seed, then the fetus grow, then you give birth. Now it grows. It's supposed to flower and bear the cowpea. The flower drops. So it means that there will not be beans.
The process has been truncated. You're a commercial farmer as well. What do you plant?
My sister, it's a disaster. It is a disaster. I'm a commercial farmer. I have a field. Maybe after this program, if GBC can follow up to the field, we are talking about 1,700 acres. It's a stretch of a community. So we are not talking about 20 acres.
What have you planted this season?
Maize. We have coffee. Then we have groundnut.
And none of them is flourishing as expected?
As we speak now, about 70% of the field has been replowed and replanted. Now let's look at the cost. The cost of a seed this year for a hybrid seed goes for 1,200 acres. That's for an acre.
1,200 Ghana cedis?
1,200 Ghana cedis for an acre, the hybrid seed. If you want to plow, then you are talking about 300 acres, 300 cedis per an acre. People who want to go and help you plant, you need about 6 people to plant an acre. Everybody takes 60 cedis by 6. Then we need to spray with weedicides. A liter of the weedicide, the post-emergence, is 70 cedis. Then the person that will do the spraying will take 100 cedis, add all them together. So at that first stage, you've done that and it didn't germinate. It means that it has gone down. You have to go back and start. So it has increased the cost by 2.
Right.
And we are not even sure whether even the second phase will survive.
Happen. Right. Muba, let me come to you. You're an agric extension officer. What kind of communication has gone out to the farmers about climate change? And has there been any attempts to get them to prepare for the extremities of the weather? Floods one year, droughts in other years.
As climate change is natural, we have been engaging them in conservation agriculture through GIZ Rich, which will help them to do their planting. They use legumes, that is cover cropping. That is when there is this spell of drought, but there will be some few moisture on the ground. But as my brother is saying, if you cultivate maize about 300 acres or 200 acres, how can you incorporate it with such a cover crop to retain moisture in the field? So there have been trainings about climate change that we do with the farmers. That is what I can say.
Maria, you want to add to what Mubarak Carter has just said? I want us to address the gender dimensions about this? Because a lot of the farmers are also women, and they are in the majority.
Yes, and I would appreciate MOFA in the region, as well as GIZ and some NGOs, SICOD, ProNet. They also do very well in the sense of sensitization, and especially in the women. They pay. They usually would invite and I haven't gone for any meeting where the MOFA officer would come in and not talk about climate change. They usually would urge farmers to know that, especially in our areas, we have just one rainy season. We don't have two like it's down south. So it's much more critical for us to know what to do. It's just unfortunate that sometimes the calendar that even the extension officers give us is not what the weather goes by. Yes, so the discussions would go on. We know that maybe this week no rains, but next week there'll be rain. But next week comes and there are no rains. For the discussions and sensitizations and meetings from the relevant stakeholders, it's actually being done in the region, and I can attest to that fact.
Okay, Mubarika.
And what we encourage them to do is to plant drought-resistant varieties, which SARI is also helping to do some field demonstrations with farmers to see the effects on the climate change that we are all yearning for.
Okay, so then I'll bring it back to Farmer Smiler then. Education has gone on. Are they yielding results? Are you listening to the messages? Are you applying the techniques that we are talking about?
Yes. As for education, farmer is the most fastest person that we can think of, because our source of livelihood depends solely on what we do. Nobody else can give you anything apart from what we have been able to do. So whatever education that is given to us, we take it seriously, in the sense that I want to also associate myself with the training that MOFA is giving to our farmers, or we as farmers. They encourage us to use early maturing varieties, depending on the land area that we cultivating. So we as farmers, we absorb a lot of information, but just that the weather is not favorable. You get the teaching well from an agri extension officer, you go into it, you practice it, and then the weather, which is not controlled by any other person, will throw you off board. So that is the major challenge that is facing we the farmers. As for education, we take it very serious.
Thank you, panel members. We are live on Radio Upper West 90.1 FM right here in the Upper West Regional Capital, while we are also streaming on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and also at GTV Ghana. On YouTube, find us at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and on X, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation as well. This is Climate Talks, the first in the series, train starting at WA, the Upper West Regional Capital. It will be moving to other regions of the country, and you'll have the opportunity to hear voices that are directly affected by matters of climate change. Seidu to give us a breakdown of what we've said so far in the local languages, so that our sisters and brothers who are listening would not be left out of the conversation.
So, ayala gratula wagarba chibe. For buhu awo chugulanga saba wana awka samutrum pete ka Miriam loyal ka ayala nga sun la ka an awto wan ula malati ngalo nye 200 acres ka ma nga jana nyoge ebenya ka yel beom pete tumpana ka dana no 20 acres on yala so umpana yala ka ndawmen loyal wenga pampa ayala biolanga awoki nambi wanche wala yala ka babore kapala yaga so bamon kora wara cha wara da ban ko juninga tolo anan sa ko wa onyoga yiri ya yalan ka kapala dirbe ndaram bara fik salam ban boro kapala ta dine ya tuninga ko nya kapala di on bana yale ka kinanka aja sanya ka ayala e biolanta ta kaniyan wa bunu kanga umbona ka bulu flower abortion anan nyokan hakla flower abortion ngati ahen awo po antar pu ade doga blan watar pu ka puyi kinu nana ebe kapu nya e cheka puni blam pakata ja eranga wala ja era ka ilanga na bantar nimbiri ka mamma ba yalka bamantere bunu mu ka public education amanta nya kwora ayalku ngani ka onyala bilana kamba ayalka yalmangala sari demi ananiya jama wa sumba chaki no song kana ngune minti biuje kan ayro bobo wala ina sumbo abata tona ja ta shekar joguta karban blanatin na uyelen kanu ba mine anko apili jine manye pogo bungula simbi na tatana jine kinam ti ya imo benaka abata nimbiri so nte yala manyo gra anato labla so tunanya tunada bun ala pili anyo.
Flawless delivery, Bumanju. Thank you so much. Oh, put your hands together for Seidu. He's a presenter at Radio Upper West here in Wa, ensuring that this conversation does not go over the heads of this local community and this region. Next, for this set of questions, I'd like to talk about the impact on young people. We are trying to tell young people to get into farming, and for young people to know that there is dignity in farming, and for young people to know that the richest men elsewhere, in the West especially, are farmers. Do these things hamper Maria on this because of your advocacy and because of your youth empowerment works? At Duong, we heard that young people are going into Galamsey in other parts of the country, and I personally find that very sad. What has been your experience monitoring on the ground?
Thank you very much. For youth in Upper West, I would say there are quite a number of youth who are into agric. And into farming. I can mention Rafik and his farms. He has over 1,000 acres of farms. He's a very young man. There are a number of them, so many of them. But like we are already discussing, the challenge is when you farm and then the yields, with climate change, it doesn't do well. So they will come calling me this year, this was what they did, but then. And it's quite disheartening. So as an advocate, what I can do is I keep encouraging them. I tell them they should go on with what Mufa would tell them, especially with the resistant seeds and improved seeds. That would give them better yields. For the youth in Upper West, I can say there are a couple of youth who are interested in farming, and it's heartbreaking when they farm and then they don't get the expected yields. Luckily, last year, the number that didn't do too well wasn't that much. But unfortunately for this year, with what we are experiencing now, I dare say I can't predict what the yields will be for this year's harvest. And it's just my prayer that things change so that it doesn't discourage them from getting onto the fields. But I actually made it a point to mention about Agri-House. I don't know whether you know about Agri-House, Alberta. She is into agribusiness issues, and she brought up this idea of getting students to do some gardening and farming in various districts in the regions. I think in Upper West, Dafiama, I remember, is one of the districts that is part of that.
We were privileged to be at the Nakore Senior High School, and it was a pleasant surprise to find that they had a farm there, and the students actually go out. And so I want to acknowledge the head of Nakore Senior High and all the teachers and the students who are doing incredible work on those farms.
So I think from that angle, that is where we can start to get them to be part, even from basic school. I remember in basic school, you would have a school garden and you'd go do some gardening there, and that should encourage the youth to get into farming when they are out of school. But like I said, to cut it short, there are a lot of youth in Upper West who are keen and interested in farming. So from school, or even in school, they go straight into farming, and once they're out of school, they still farm. But the effects of climate change on the youth in farming, it's quite there. And there's a need for us to have a look at it. I don't know whether we are, the second panel will talk about it, but I keep saying that the solution to what we have now is just irrigation. Irrigation is the water that we need. It doesn't necessarily have to be the rainfall. So if there's water for the youth to be in agric, all year round they are. Unfortunately, we are in a part of the country where the rains are just once, it's not twice. So if we have the water, the youth are willing and ready to farm. Thank you.
Thank you. Mubarakat, I'll pick your thoughts, because even irrigation is a problem. Because in Duong, for example, Your Excellency, we found that even though there was a dam, 2 years ago, there was some floods in these parts, and the dam was overrun with floodwaters. It broke down, and even the farms that were close to the dam had to be abandoned. So even with irrigation, there are challenges. So Mubarakata, help me understand, are young people on board with the quest to find solutions? Do they appreciate the extent of the problem as we face, and are they contributing to the solutions for climate change?
I can say the youth, they are also contributing, because there are government interventions that are encouraging the youth to go into agriculture. For example, World Food Program has supported farmers in the Fiama Buse Isa, Wa East, Sisala West, and Nadolukaleo districts. And their more target was the youth, those that are engaged in farming. So now, more youth are getting the interest into the farming because they are getting support from other organizations and then the government of Ghana. When the support came, 60% of the youth was targeted. So because of that, most of them are now interested. And we advise them to stop cutting the trees on the forest for charcoal. They can see the surge on it. Most of them have stopped cutting the trees, and they are much into the farming.
At, again, one of the places that we visited, they did mention deforestation as one of the reasons why the rains are not even coming down. So I presume that education on that is also still ongoing.
Yes, please. There are other organizations that have been giving us trees to cashew plants for them to plant very economically. When you plant these cashew plants and you grow old, you are not able to do your farming, but the fruits, the nut that you harvest from the tree, the cashew plant, you can use it to gain some income.
Right. Thank you, Muba. Sumaila, so Maria talked about dams and to provide alternative sources of water to farm with other than the rains. What has been your experience so far as dams are concerned?
Yes, before I talk about the dams, I think the basic question was whether the effect of climate change actually is deterring the youth in going into or in venturing into agriculture. It is because by the then that you see some white hairs here. I'm a young guy. I'm a trained teacher by profession. I'm not a teacher. Farming is what I do. Farming is my job. That is why I work with 1,500 women. I support them fully to go into production. So if we have people who have resigned from these professional jobs, we have nurses, we have some other people who are also in other professions who have resigned. Unless you go to the Salaland area and see, we have them who have resigned and have gone back to the farm. We are experiencing this. What do we think it will have? The economic effect, we have the social effect, and then we have the psychological effect. What are they? The social, it means that farmers, we don't farm in our rooms. You see the farm, you plant, the thing fails to germinate. Everybody who passes by said, oh, then look at this. So you are depressed. Now the economic effect, if it is even a loan facility that you have gone in for and go into this farming, the effect of the antisocial vices that we are seeing now that is emerging, it is because of climate change, because it is driving away people from their source of livelihood. In other words, basically everybody is a farmer. Basically everybody. So if you go and farm and you are not getting anything, a young guy goes to farm and is not getting some other unprofessional job that will earn a living.
One alternative solution that was proffered is for interventions to bring alternative farming practices, including animal or livestock rearing, poultry farming, inland fishing, and whatnot. Will those help, Sumaila?
I was coming to that. If you look at other areas, alternative source of livelihood, now we should be looking at other source of alternative source of livelihood that we talk about, like animal production, beekeeping. Then we can look at grass cutter. These are in-house activities that can also help to augment the losses that we have. But all these things I've mentioned are more capital and not add a lot of fertilizer than you get. But if you want to house a goat, you need to put up a structure, the government. But we are also encouraging other countries like what Republic of Germany is doing, to also see those areas that, especially women, that we can bring women on board, build their capacity, not only build their capacity, support them with a seed capital, not necessarily even giving them the cash. If the logistics are made available to the farmers, I think we should be able to.
These alternatives, do you discuss some of these alternatives with your farmers when you're out on the field? That if the planting is not going well, you could look into these other ways. Are they receptive to some of those techniques? And perhaps I'll put one more question on top of there. Is livestock rearing even affected by climate change to start with?
It affects a lot because the animals feed on the green grasses, and then the food product that we left after harvesting that we obtain from the field. That is what the livestock will also feed on. If we are not even able to farm, we won't be able to feed the animals too. Where will we get the feed? It's also a challenge. The rearing is also a challenge. And then the women businesses my brother is talking of. After harvesting, we engage them in kebab making, soya kebab, and then soap making, and then groundnut.
From the farmers, how are they also responding to the challenges that climate change is presenting? How is it affecting their business?
Thank you very much. It's really affecting their business. I'll take Guinness Ghana, for instance. They usually would come for our sorghum here to go do their breweries. So here's the case, they are not getting the capacities that they need. So this year, for instance, they have engaged Mr. Sumaila and Co., the commercial farmers, as well as the big guys, Antika, those who work with farmers, to help them grow sorghum so that they can come and be off-takers. So the help there, it's more like there's ready market for you. That's the only help that is coming in. And they would assist you to get equipment like a tractor to come farm for you, where to get the farm implements and all of, they would help with that. But they wouldn't give you money directly to help in the farming. So from that end, the industries, it's just a readily available market that you have for your products. But they don't help much with maybe supporting you to do your farm and then get it out there. Last year there was a program, maybe my sister can talk much about it. I don't know whether this year is still running, SAPIP. Yes, it's not in your district. But SAPIP with the MOFA, I don't know, we have the MOFA officer here, he could tell us more about it when it's open. Yeah. That one, it helped to clear lands, like 250 acres, but the acreage they also gave was very high, so not too many people could couch onto it. So they do 250 acres for you, help you to plant. All you need is your energy to do the work. But with 250 acres at least, they helped you. MOFA last year, I know that happened because I was engaging with the MOFA regional director Asad then. This year, I don't know whether it's happening. But those are some of the things that is from the government side. But from industry, it's only Guinness Ghana I know about. And I can be sure that there are other, would I call them investors? All they will tell you is a readily available market is what they have. So as to what you do till your sorghum, your maize, your groundnut, your soya is ready, it's not really part of the deal. The deal is when your crops are ready, they come off take and buy for you. Yeah. And usually that helps if the season is good and you get good deals, because markets is one of the major challenges that farmers usually would face.
But you can't market a product or a produce you don't have.
Exactly.
And that's the crux of the conversation that we are having on this first in the series of climate talks, a collaboration between the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and the German Embassy in Accra, highlighting the effects of climate change. We'll engage more thoughts on solutions and on radio, Upper Twitter, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and X, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Seydou.
Thank you very much. Nubaga ayel yalanga. Benam batar sikri cha enchore na nyoge mbasumala yele yaga no yalana. Sheke lo malan tabi yaga. Welenka bunde ba monaka climate change. An basugoyan pampana bi ayalanga mo eranga. Bipolar anen posare banabang pe kwobo. Unka bamang pierang. Wa apawanga sana la chuyen kunga du utinye nuba mini. Kwobo yala ansa anen climate change an nyoba. Wajaja gae galamsi kawala ba rabeti babang galamsi gabumin yala ila ala ki ga ki yala tel nimbi ki yalan to o yalen ka kamba sumala yala ka bipola pere bunga kwobo onla ne teacher la a train ada ubi awu no bi karambo cha kwobo yala an watel nimbi wan yala ka kwobo ka teacher ne ka bye bye bayiri palo ne sisala palo bambona tumuni atana manye teacher nurse he anin ninjama amba ana nurse ne atipe kwobo donc kwobo yalsunla cha climate change ne ulolo e mansifa ainte umpana yale ka yale minimum bia yale pum ana climate change nga ka yale wayan pare ana labo kwa bu minimum bibe un yala ka socially awo yala ambete palo economically blani mayanyele bie ani psychologically enante die loan akọ ka kwobo feli abaton wala era bank de mebas banka ka wada feli mbi wo feli banu ba libri ba mora nan tona so ka yala ngalo wanan dogo ayamba bambana soge dam ana ta na kun bansu nka na bansu min cha yala kan ma mbiya yala punla asigin ka kinan na ana ma husband ribungana kwobo aguno buune unlo yel na sar pon kan na bere capital intensive an ka libi jom bachi koran enen kumbanye je gba anya tabwa amalije ka buo bi pe ape jine ga waponye kinen yan gole sheki shiri bibe ambite palo ayalan ay kan bata pe banum bi ayirin asanati yala umpana ama nga ja wane yala awa ente ambatar sor to kama Maria o men yale ka kinanka bipola pere agric ansuma abati bol ka agric house je kan ba mona ka agric house am bia pa wasinche amanyo be bili awunubo bilana banna ko anyatona ka ma an yi Accra ayele ka o gaye na kore atenya na kore senior high school ban ra bilana banna ka school bi akwora asunna apalo so umbana ka irrigation onelabo bamman tutugu dam tijaji ya che banwe ka one village one dam ka bibi abachi man kumban yala ngache umbana yala ka anata ne danan ban sumin summa min abawa na jeje mbasumala da yala kage nan dale government ene yala ne sambo yan kembla sheki tru ya hani gbe because government me yakuna en jine biu antile yala kan a inte to ban suko mamu barakata inambi minister of agric bi ka yinimbe bibilinga ambi apalonga wala to bunna bambona intervention bi asumbu yamman sunu ba mamman pe nka to ko mamban wulbon soe ka government ba wato wani intervention kanga analabo sumbu kanga ban wasin ko sum nuba kinanga wa east funsi sanga obibe dbi dafiyama biso isa abube na dole kale umbibe to anwuka bipolar anin posar he ba pe kwobo onyele ka kinanto ade ko apo lijata jabi akwobo yel tarenga anwuka yel sulla cha yalanga mansifa nga anpati ana climate change sana wakon wa alleha tija banya kanga senga wa pan he de yide kan ja erele ja cha anja e bunga umpana yele bilana tinda asuntumihi I'm saying that I will stop here.
Barka.
In Wali we say Tinabahan Jinting. We'll stop it with tongue, but we haven't finished.
Okay, Seidu, just take us on a quick break. We'll have a short musical interlude. When we return, I think we've talked about the problem a lot, but a key part of why we are here is to identify the problem and also find solutions to those problems. And we'll talk solutions after this short break.
Wala la no complain kumbo solution bi abo anembere so karna lotwa blana tinna wala tinna ana klema jini an dohe da wala yantinna ban ka yala ban tar nembere ta ana point ne to radio power skina wa chala radio 90.1 FM tbb to GTV min to streaming live ne ja kina bi jele ja tb jita ke kinyo.
I thought you would put your hands together for all of us. Excellent. A musical break and then we'll continue.
Ayana, Kinambiche, Koyakiwa, is that Murayana, Kinambiche, Kiwa, Che, Tichalahin, Moa.
And as we wait for them to come, yes, we can hear it all in the background. We told you that we have so many dignitaries with us. We began to mention a few to begin with, and we still want to acknowledge all those who have been with us. The regional coordinating council, all of you for joining us here. Please let's applaud their efforts in joining us here. And earlier we mentioned Pogna, and you know, she is now joined by a high-powered delegation over here. Let me start from the Nakorina. Thank you so much for coming. Abdullah Dawana is the Nakorina. He's joining us. Thank you so much for the support in the community. And then we have the Bolena Musa Al-Hassan. Thank you so much for coming, sir. And then the Bongborobogu Na inside Darimani is also here with us. Thank you. And then Na Musa Yusuf is also here with us. And we have Mumuni Kilanjon Na also here. And then the Gutuna Husseini is also here with us. We want to thank you all. And the farmers who have joined us, please wave and let's see you, all the farmers here, because you are a big team, so that we know it's really for farmers. And I'm happy joining and also coming in to be part of this important program. There is still more in the delegation coming, the special guests. Now, we take a musical break.
Ma imoru muni babu mankara Ayana muni babu mankara Are you ready? I want to see your hands up. That's right. This is upper voice for you. Thank you, ceasefire. Ma andoma obadi yele bioja ima. Obadi yele bioja ae. Anamine ka mpuhe gaja ane yakukari muna pahe nyubotore ke kara upper west security. Mura yana aheche ane imare ka nde nebe pelukuye. War chibe nagare nibitore. Ye munu kuyeme. Man jonga na mane leo ma jonga mambala ni radune enye ma irasie enda ba iberi wo na mane leo ma beri mambala tu oncheni enye ma irasie ga dokta tinye bale bamba bejanye kala kanga jano balola enwanya balola kala kanga jano balola enwanya balola inatia hi bamba hembe enwanya balola inatia hi na bako enwanya balola dango jenja hina yambamba enwo to wate happy ha kala dango pagi kodusani panara da bulu do balara o manyene somen yawra susanwo kabyo yawra byo sanaya ki watun songi ton kwi minga ki watun byo iton kwi nana mandabe nana mandawo ya nana mandabe dana na ngone mabla nana manawo Let's go this way. Ajali bilang kana ayana ana jongkono kuro kane kanga summa jongkono kuro kane kanga summa jongkono bona kana mane tema time I want to perform all my songs here. I don't want to mix my song here. So jump into another song. Hey, I'm catchy. Am I done? Thank you. Let me hear you clap hand for you. Is it me? Yeah. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that performance. But I didn't hear the applause well. Please. The whole show. So there is a lot more as we talk about the climate and also continue to have a little fun. We want to continue to have the fun. That's why we are training ourselves to do things well in managing our climate. We are still on Climate Talks coming to you from WA, and we are doing this as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation in collaboration with the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany. We are now handing you over back to our moderator as we continue with our panel discussions. And this time, we are looking at solutions, and we want to hear from the farmers too.
So, nianga wa bunga mura yan labla. Tilao peleti nimri biala alola bora karaga alati jene temba hana karala eragara. To, yopa take over.
Thank you, Seydou. Thank you, Kingsley. And welcome back to the second part of this panel discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the stage Mr. Ernest Obing Edu, the GIZ Technical Advisor on the REACH project. Welcome, sir. A reminder again that we are streaming across GBC's social media platforms, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and also GTV Ghana. Also, you can hear us on Radio Upper West 90.1 FM, and GBC is doing this in partnership with the German Embassy in Accra. At this point, we want to welcome diverse voices that are seeking solutions to our climate challenges and what they are doing. A number of organizations are here and they'll be sharing some of their procedures with us. So help me welcome Mr. Natoma Kipo is here in our midst. And I'll welcome Mr. Kipo to the podium to share with us some of the technologies that TECAS does undertake to make sure that the effects of climate change are mitigated. They've mounted to them about some of the solutions Mr. Kipo was talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, Natoma Kipo, TECAS General Manager.
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, chiefs. All protocol observed. As mentioned, I'm Natoma Kipo, representing Training and Extension for Conservation Agriculture in the Savannas. TECAS was established by GIZ, MOAB, and REACH, purposely to help mitigate the adverse effect of climate change, on which reason we are here on agriculture, land degradation, and lack of mechanized CA services in Northwest Ghana, that is WA and its environs. TECAS has 3 thematic areas to help mitigate this adverse effect. 1, we provide them that aim at minimal or no disturbance on the land in our quest to prepare land for our agricultural purposes. Encouraging crop diversification as well as residual retention, giving them training on conservation agriculture. TECAS also has a purpose and a mandate to grow. Cover crops are very integral part of conservation agriculture. That means they cover the surface of the soil and is the soil. The third aspect is to provide mechanized conservation agriculture services to farmers. In conservation mechanized agriculture services, we're looking at services like 1, reaping. Reaping is a system of land preparation that drills channels. It only disturbs the surface area on which planting will be done. It breaks the soil hard pan, then you do your planting there. In an event that we are in, lack of rain or minimal rain, the water collects into the furrows and it is conserved for the plant to use for a period of time. Also in reaping, once you break the hard pan, where there is enough rain, the water will not flow and wash away your crop. It easily seeps. It goes into the soil to avoid flooding and then your crops being washed away. So these are the main activities that TECAS is in the communities doing, and we are encouraging all of us to support this idea, embrace this idea, where we are encouraging everybody not to disturb the land, just purposely target where you want to crop. Then you will have an efficient resource at the end of the season. In this area, we are in almost all the 11 districts. Extension officers are there encouraging farmers in this regard. Thankfully, today we are also at the vicinity here with some of the equipment. We encourage you to get interactive with us. Then we will take you through details of our activities as TECAS. So I thank you for this short audience, and then we welcome you to TECAS.
Seydou. Thank you, Mr. Kipo, for those remarks.
Okay. Mbana Toma Kipo, Uyalenka Tekma, Ye Jinga Bantare, Yalpane Bando Wanang, and a song, Kanuma Bonaka GIZ, and a MWAP, banom sumba anum bana sarabera ka mitigate the effects of climate change in Northwest. Blana banda ka ana climate change nga ko ban sigi bi a karoba karbi farhan to oyanka banu yalalla bunda bambona conservation system blana ina yalanta ka sambu kun sang bi yala ka no disturbance on land blana ina kun sang atingbongo ka atingbongo bantaro barka tamantare yalai ama yalata abra ana labo ko man bantare bumbura amambura blana banna ka atingbongo kun sang ka to improve the land bambana mai ka blana banna ka saju ja kun sang yala anto halabla banla ka man wane bunde bambona ka mechanized agri services aku to korba bunde bambona ka ripping a ripping ne kamana bigihu awo manjin nin balanga baman dugo bogo ako ayon ana atingbon ka kwonwa ka sanwa ka kwonta bi agbagon akon bamba ka jima ma ki banko so on pana yala ka ripping oye yala ansuma pa taso jeleje ja imbe udie na ngono so he kinan yanko oyala anu nan sare mbo na so ka do not disturb the land, don't disturb the land. Tell sama tengbango imo nye ni kan kaputo umunga tengbango kaputo bi ka wala la bula no na akwa ainga basa yonjala anwana ni akola banko umpana ka do not disturb the land. Tell sama tengbango bi avenko yala sa ante yala gra on yala mba na tokma kipu yala on yala bla tapo humbaraka.
Thank you, Seidu. Would like to open the forum up to everyone here who has comments, especially our farmers, so that you can also contribute to this panel discussion. The solutions that we are looking for, what do you want? The experts are here, they are willing to hear you, they are sharing some of the already existing technologies with you, but they want to understand the nature of your problems so that they can proffer tailor-made solutions which will work.
We are grateful to judge our man and Palama, Nquaron, Baba Yalanga Mana, Anna climate change resilient Bombona Keninga. Enan wache, Tintar Yalane, Soboja enter Naban Soho, Anubanga, Abanya Sumbo, Kasumbo Ban Some, Kiko Yala, Abantari Nimbri, Anuban Jinni, Sohe, Kariha Nimbruki, Kanansari La Yale, Dagari Wali, Sisali, Pasali, Ajatu, Tanabai Norokui.
By show of hands, and the mic will come to you, please.
Kenu ya kan sigiwa. Kenu nguli nuka to. No. He will be you ani jintu.
Yura Yachebe St. Charles. My suggestion is that I would like for the Ghana government or any organization to have a state fund for every region, or particularly maybe all the districts, so that to employ we the youth into the farming, like the way they employ teachers. So when they do that, we the individual farmers who are also doing something small can support. Even though where we are now, this training and all that will not help us. We will die hunger. Because if the government or other organization do state farm, every region, particularly all the districts, and employ maybe our brothers and sisters who are completed this year have nothing to do. They can employ them and support the government or the state farm so that we get something to eat and live for our children. If not, we will die tomorrow. Thank you.
So,
hopefully not, but thank you.
Lubana era TV yalane, bayaka kaniya na sohe tiboran kewa TV po so yamo awasaju che kinan wuli no bambona ka state farms. Ana ombora ka abun kulewa o yalana na bahambla to kina watara so if you have any question.
Okay,
all right.
Thank you very much. My name is James Anabiga, the Speaker of the Upper West Regional Youth Parliament. I have a question to Madam Mubarakata, if I got your name right. I spoke of the youth being supported to go into agriculture. I just want to know the selection criteria that you use so that the youth that I have around that place, I can also let them get involved in that particular activity. And I'm saying this because we all say we are the youth, but constitutionally in Ghana, the youth is between 15 years and 35 years. So we want to be sure that we are working within that. The other thing is we spoke of planting trees. Planting trees in Ghana is not actually a problem because we plant trees. And because of this Green Ghana project by the government of Ghana, we do a lot of tree planting. The problem we have is how to nurture those trees. And that is what we need to actually look into very seriously. And also in nurturing those trees to grow, we equally have to look at alternative source of livelihood for those who fell down the trees for charcoal. Surprisingly, if you bring a full share tree down, the number of bags of charcoal you can get from it is around maybe 2, if you even get 3 bags. In a bag of charcoal, I don't know the amount now, should be around 100 Ghana cedis. 150, okay, so let's say 150 Ghana cedis, even 1 bag. So if it's 2, that's 300 Ghana cedis. Let's take the share nuts that you use to produce share butter from that particular tree. The amount you get for that particular year alone will be far more than the 300 Ghana cedis or the 450 Ghana cedis. So, and that is not just the end. It's going to happen several years to come. But when you bring down the tree, you have ended the life of the tree, and a lot of people suffer it, including what we are facing at the moment. So we also have to look at alternative livelihood. Finally, on issues of the forest, because this climate change issues we are facing has to also do with the fact that we no longer have the thick forest that can actually help us with the rainfall pattern. And once we have RCC here and other stakeholders here, I would like to call on them to see what they can do to revamp the bushfires committees as mandated by the Act. The regional minister is the chairperson of the regional bushfire MCEs, and the MCEs are the chairpersons, and the regional commanders of fire service and the municipal commanders of fire are secretaries to those committees. Can we revamp these committees and help them work? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, James.
We actually are interested in questions. I will not say what is not wrong. You can come forward. Come forward. The few, yes. Quickly, we anka uboranka mama yale. Criteria bo jebantu anyana no bane. Chalo yale ka dawo salbo suma chairman to nyo ache aboronka.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is Felicia Badanie. I am a teacher, an entrepreneur, and then a Shilis Social Movement president for Upper West Chapter. I am so honored to be part of this conversation on a topic that is so dear to my heart. Before I ask my question, there was this statement released by demographic projections in 2019 that there will be population increase from 31 million to 37.4 million. So by 2030. So in Ghana, so this tells us that from now to 6 years, we have 6 years more, there will be, the population growth would demand that there will be, there should be enough food supply. But here's the case, we are experiencing a serious climate change effect that we all need to join the conversation and help in advocacy. As a movement, we are also doing something in that regard. And individually, I am also into a production of an insect larvae that we use to rather feed livestock, such that the meals that is reserved, meals can be reserved, or our yellow corn and soya beans that is used as a traditional feed for our livestock would be used to feed humans, in that we are solving food security issues. Again, there was this, I met a woman and she was telling me that they are going to perform some sacrifices to appease their gods because of the rainfall pattern, which I think is not the case. So we are doing our best at our level to educate people, communities we go to with our sensitization.
I think we're ready
so
for
what
your
I have to
question now.
say is that with what we do, there's this challenge of getting enough technologies that will help us expand our activities to be able to solve this issue. So, Madam Paul mentioned something like irrigation and other things, but there's a challenge of making it accessible and affordable for people that are coming up with such innovative solutions to help mitigate the effects of climate change. Thank you.
All right. So, Oyanka Blanetana Eka Sunka, Wana.
I think we'll take some responses. I want us to hear from the farmers. They are on the field.
So there's one farmer coming.
The institutions are doing what they can, and I'm mindful of this not turning into a marketing. And all respects to you, Mr. Lomote. I want us to hear from the farmers. They are on the field. They are feeling the effect of what we are talking about. So I'll take your final question, and then we'll take one round of answers and return to the crowd. Thank you.
Men soge balanga mayan soge nembera wala yanna ti yelanga ambenga keda sunti irrigation ni kuda gani bi tora awa wora mo benga cheka ana kombalanga ni to ko balanga de bibe aji warga hanga ti fola yaga jena mamba sigebe atuna tuma ka san lowa kala garati yora tun hanga tiba ban wor sa annawa cheke nan da ebu kan ka irrigation ni daga ni bitora wora nga tin hanga bi pola mambiri yora na ba kum man yora bana man tuna tuma chakar chala asa men so bala bala ya na ka irrigation ne ko yara ka bi pola karatuna ya baraka. He says it's from Nakori, and that what can we do to improve irrigation services? Because as at now the rain we can't predict. So if you have many more irrigation projects over there, many more people have access. Those you who are roaming will have something to do.
All right. I think we'll go through the comments and questions that we've received. Sir Charles spoke about state farms for the regions. Perhaps His Excellency and the good DG will take this up with, because it's a bit above our pay grade here. I think we'll all agree. Having state farms to employ young people as farmers in the farmers and pay them like government pays teachers and nurses, so that they know that they are getting at the end of the month something from the government, and they can make ends meet. James asked a question of you, Mubarakata, the selection criteria for these interventions for young people who are getting into agriculture, so he can pass it on to his people.
Okay. As for the World Food Program, MOFA, we are only facilitators. The criteria has been done with the World Food Program. They have the criteria they use to choose the youth. We only call the farmers, and the farmers are always present with the World Food Program people, and they do their selection. We don't know the criteria they use to select, but we only know it's from 18 years to 35 years.
And he also asked what alternatives are there for charcoal makers. If we are asking that they do not fell the trees for charcoal, in your engagement with them, is there a plan on the government side that's in place already to make sure that they find alternatives?
As for now, I can't say there is an alternative. If government can only subsidize the EPLG gas for everybody to have access to it in a more reduced amount. If not for charcoal burning for now, we don't know of any alternative.
Okay. Ernest Obingadu, GIZ Technical Advice on the REACH project. Do you work on any of these matters?
Yes, so GIZ also has implemented a forest restoration project, which was concentrated on the charcoal value chain, how to make the charcoal value chain sustainable and a bit green. And the alternatives that we have are improved cook stoves for our women who use the charcoal when it is already produced. If the efficiency of the the coal pots that they use are increased, then they will use more. The production level, we can look at establishment of woodlots. So there are very fast-growing species like the acacias and the cassias that we can grow alongside our indigenous trees like the shea, the mangoes, the mahoganies, which are indigenous and also quite valuable to us. We conserve them, and then we use the woodlots that we have established at the community to also produce the charcoal, thereby conserving these indigenous valuable tree species. Also, now currently, if we are with the local production, we are even less than 10%, which means that if you put 100 kilogram of wood in the earth mounds, you will get about 10 kilos of wood from that. So if we can also increase the efficiency of our production level, then we can also reduce. It means that when we put 100 kilos, let's say we come to even 40%. If you put 100 kilos of wood, then you can also come up to, let's say, 40 kilos of charcoal. But somebody will say, but we want to run away from the charcoal. Why are you? Yes. The analysis shows that charcoal usage will increase by about 30% within sub-Saharan Africa. So we are not in the next 30 years. So we are not out of the woods yet.
But why is that? And is the cost an issue? Mubarakata mentioned lower costs for LPG gas and these alternative sources of energy, solar and whatnot. Are they not going to help in the next 30 years?
They will. For instance, access to LPG in some communities, let's say in very vulnerable areas with regard cost the household more. We have to send it to them. But now we don't have the infrastructure yet. So we need a stopgap. We cannot just leave it like that. That is why it is important that we pursue some of these sustainable charcoal value chain measures, whilst we continue to encourage the government to come out with policies that can provide clean energy to rural folks.
This has proved quite enlightening because we've since the start of the panel talked about how it affects farmers directly, but now we are talking about the charcoal producers and the fact that asking for them not to fell the trees would mean literally no food on the table. So in reality, will some of these technologies work, especially if we are thinking it will increase, charcoal use will increase by 30% in the next few years? Will it work? Are the women from your engagement, do you think it's something that they could embrace, that we are stepping back from the use of this technology and asking you to improve more green solutions in cooking?
So speaking about charcoal, I'll take it from the charcoal angle. I don't know whether Honorable Munka is here. Munkailo, FIFA Muni, he's left already, but I met him, he was here. So he is doing something brilliant with charcoal. He's not felling trees, but he's making charcoal. But so I don't know why he's not getting the needed support to push him to get that going, so that he could go, and that would be an alternative to the women who fell the trees to make the charcoal. There's also one Professor Miller, he also uses grass to make charcoal. But the thing is that all these will come with their downsides, which I really haven't gone into and don't know what they are about. For alternatives, they are there. But just that it wouldn't be as easy as just cutting a tree, putting it under the fire, 2-3 days, you go take your charcoal. It might be more intensive. If not, for alternatives of making charcoal, there are.
Okay.
But it's just the intensity and what would be needed to do that.
Felicia and Abdullah Al Hassan from Nakore talked about access to technology which will solve some of these problems, particularly with regards to irrigation services and their availability. Are irrigation services readily available? Can the farmers afford them? And if not, where can they go for such help? Anybody on the panel with the expertise can answer.
Yeah. All right. So, so first I will add two things to what the lady said. So yes, these alternatives are available, but the issue is about scale and also cost. So, I mean, more than 60% of the energy that we use in Ghana are wood. So how can we produce enough briquette to really topple that? So that is, it's about scale. And also, these things are also quite expensive that the ordinary household will not be able to afford.
Do you advise on building of dams? For example, when we were in Duong community, the dam has given up because of the floods. Do you advise on how to build dams, how to ensure that it remains resistant to some, little floods? I wouldn't say little because the extent is not little, but it can withstand at least some heavy rains.
Okay, so yes, building of dam is an engineering expertise. So I think, it is not something that is not being done is there. So if the engineers do their work well, the dam should be okay. But in terms of access to technology, that is also very, very important. So the lady talks about technology, but in climate smart agriculture, irrigation is part, but it's not the only thing. So you see, Teka spoke about conservation agriculture. And then my lady also talked about cover cropping. These are all technologies that are important for our farmers to be smart when it comes to climate change. So our project, we work in 200 communities, and then we are promoting some of these climate smart agriculture practices. And then also we talk about diversity. Agroforestry is key, where you incorporate cash crops as part of your maize or your groundnut, which makes you more resilient in case the rains are not coming.
Yeah, Mubarakata wanted to add a few words. I'll give you a minute to also add your voice. Mubarak, you go first.
I want to add a few things to what my brother is saying. The diversity that they are talking of is not just growing one kind of crop. If there is a disease outbreak or drought on that crop, you will go lost. You have to intercrop with 2 different crops on the same piece of land. In case there is an effect on this one, but the other one, you can get a little yield on it. And when it gets to the dams you were talking of, most of the dams they've constructed, they farm around the dams areas, which cause distillation. And then they cut down trees around the dams, which is causing more of the erosion that we are talking of, the destruction of the dams. These are just the main causes within our catchment area I can talk of.
Okay, Smiler, you wanted to say something quickly, and then we go to the next batch of questions.
Yes, I think, I don't know whether it's a solution broadly. Solution to this, I think, is about attitudinal change. We as farmers, not even farmers, everybody, we need to change our attitude towards environment. Because what am I saying this? We don't even have charcoal producers. Our chiefs are here. In our community, we don't have anybody who says that I'm producing charcoal to sell. It's not there. The person is a farmer, but he thinks that if he cut a tree and burn, he'll get quick money.
So charcoal burning is an alternative for some farmers?
Yes, we don't have anybody in the community that says that me, though Smile, I'm a charcoal producer. Do we have it? Across. Wow. We don't have it. So it's about attitude. Now, in talking about attitudinal, I want to call on our overlords, the chiefs, and then the government. We have the bylaws in the assembly that talks about deforestation. So if the chiefs, together with the assembly, because the chiefs are part of the assembly, if they're able to enforce these bylaws, to ensure that trees, particularly economic trees, are not felled. Alternative source of livelihood would be available for women.
Right. Let's, thank you all. I think we should put our hands together for all of us, for all these ideas that we are sharing.
Yeah,
because this is how we get the answers that we are looking for.
Yes.
A quick one.
Yes, a quick one on the irrigation. I still agree with the farmer who came and spoke about irrigation. Our nearby Upper East, they do a lot of irrigation with their dams. So what is wrong? What are we doing wrong? If our dams are not properly built, they should be properly built to contain water for us to use. It's as simple as that. So if the dam is broken, it's not because it can't be done, because it wasn't done well.
So fix it.
Yes.
Right.
Burkina Faso nearby, they do a lot of irrigation. And they even spill their water to us, which we can even conserve in our dams and use. But it comes and even causes havoc for us. So for irrigation, I think it can be done. Speaking about that, unfortunately, some people will crucify me here, but I will do that. I'm the regional coordinator for Northern Development Authority. In Upper West, we have 86 dams. And constructing it well, it's what I usually would tell even my bosses. They've been constructed, but the construction to keep water for a longer time is the challenge. Chansa Dam is one of the dams that we did. It wasn't really a new dam we did all together. It was already there, but we reconstructed and added on. And people in Chansa will attest to that fact. So if it's that the government and policies and other people, and Ambassador is here, if after these talks, some of the solutions that will come will be that they should build dams for us, or improve the dams that we have to make them larger, dredge them so they can contain more water. I think we'll be moving forward in this climate change effect on farmers.
Thank you. Seydou.
So, kandi bobahanga Mariam Yelenka kinenka Upper West abonka dam hinantin batara. Cha adam bamo ane baba man yasu. Uyanka yelanga onyen yelanga. No me ku ku cha ayel mangato labla. Emban de tumakui ade government libi kui in yanga chehe. Awe mbayi yiring kiba nantin batene ka sensembieli gafara. Cha uyanka karna karna bande libi atu adiabla na ansegene tukun tarbunga to bawasu uyanka nubane anwanan tumane youth for agriculture so bobande ada nubana ka agric madam Mubarak banka kinawe yum pina yin agara pista nata ayo anu ka ina bampa so no kombanya yala ka dom ya ka gananche koko ne ka bi poli bi posara sheki pina nu agara pista na anu to ndo an yar para bunga abitin sugum test uyalenka ba ana jakar sere gas jini kan ni ande gas kereche kaman bora gashi kan din mutu aga tore jatada umpana ya kanu omni babie kurhin ko yela ito cha yela banu an era bolo tinye dare mini aguna ana bandin mala sala kenan tidi daw kan ban bona ka akisha ban blan wala man bona akisha uya daw nga ki salu je jawma ihin obat bora kwang so ban ma ya agola amala so kenan umpana yela ka ganin ba konon yakine ka sala ta citi palo nga pum bulonka tukumban disima shekar yala ilmi ambe gas yes cha gas kumban malati yala na so banu yan pampana ba biye community yi awo ko hayi atuna batuma to nte yala mande anabla ka un loyal ka irrigation kan dawna yal ka kan basu malame yal ka irrigation ne na ban sunyati yala na.
Thank you, Seydou. A round of applause for all of us once again. Thank you. Is Christine around? Christine Botha is a technical advisor also at GIZ, and she works on the market-oriented agriculture program in the Northwest. I'm told that they would like to share a few words on what they actually do and what solutions they also have for some of these climate change-related problems. And we'll wait for Christine. When she's ready, she'll make her submission. And I think she's walking to us from the back. Sure. We'll take Christine's submission, and then we'll open the floor for another round of questions before we round up. Let's welcome Christine Botha. She's technical advisor at GIZ, working on the work.
Nasara, how are you?
Thank you very much. I'm well. I hope everyone in the room as well as I am, even though it's very hot here, climate change says hello to every one of us. Yes, I am from GIZ MOAP. MOAP stands for Market Oriented Agriculture Program. So we try to look at the whole value chain from production up to the market aspect, and also look at all the actors in between these steps or these so-called value chains. We do this with a capacity building approach, and we are concentrating on 7 selected value chains, or 7 selected commodities or crops. What do? We have outside a stand together with our sister project. This is called REACH. Ernest is the representative of it. We have 2 GIZ projects here in the north, MOAP and REACH. And both projects work on supporting, improving the agricultural sector here in the Upper West region and 3 adjacent districts. What do we do? And especially, what do we do on the production level, as we have so many farmers in the room? What you see outside, there are 2 of our interventions, which is one, an organic pesticide called neem crop protector. This is processed here in the Upper West region. It is an organic pesticide, so if you choose to use it, you are doing good for the environment, and you are also supporting the women, which are the collectors, then the processors here from Upper West, and not a chemical company outside the country. Even though I don't want to speak against chemicals, they also have their right and their advantages. But of course, if we have the chance to use an organic product, it is very legit and beneficial to use it. The other one is we introduced a new legume variety, which is a cowpea variety called green gram or monk bean. You can see it outside. If you even want, you can buy it and multiply it on your farm. We are also looking for commercial buyers on that. The good thing about it, it is very short in maturity, and it boils very fast, which reduces the amount of charcoal or of firewood. And for doing the wache, you can even put the rice and the cowpea into the pot at the same time, and they are cooked also at the same time, and it is very delicious. Yeah, other things we are doing is cost-shared agreements with farmers or processors, for example, on irrigation system. So we don't want to bring in all our resources to have a commitment from the farmer. We do this in a cost-shared agreement. The same also with simple farming equipment or tools. For example, the manual push planters, which is very appreciated by women. So you can plant an acre of land in a very short time, which is especially in this times of climate change very important, that you are strong within the small window you have available. Yeah, then we do a lot of capacity building, a lot of trainings on good agricultural practices, also beekeeping introduction, for example. We support and promote the organic certification, the organic certified production of, in our case, groundnuts and cashew. This is, of course, a resource conserving system of production. Conservation agriculture is a big topic to conserve soil moisture, to improve soil health and soil fertility. Yeah, so outside we have some materials lying down. Unfortunately, our project will close in the beginning of next year, but nevertheless you can interact with us and we can see if there's a cooperation possible. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
To, Christine, yagana. We are gra, but I won't come on a value chain. Value chain, Kinai, Ayo, Agara, Sima Antipeninsala Pu, Anala value chain, Kana Pumbara. Bumpanatara, Bumbura, Ayupui, Bamaira. Banlatara, Cap Umbonka sister project. Yalabai Alato, Ka Mwap, Umimpa Heavy. Bumpanatara ka. Blanabana abu to Dara, Ana Tatana, Bumbambe. So, Balla to dite Susu Ubirini, Amala, Bundabambona insecticide. Dande Minibunsunla, Ka Emande, Enate de Bunga a pompe, Ka Wanang, Mansifa Kangaburu, where Kabasuma. Check in and Debundabambona organic. Anka Nanguna Bundalabala. Chemical Jabachu Pum. Ana wera umpana kenan sun kinaga Minister of Food and Agriculture but baby atara factory bile ka pogba manga ayi aga jihi at vava bonne bombona susugre bie ado wana ado kwa aja bombia la ade emba bakwen so unka kanana na baye bla a sun ka pogba mba nyotuma abangole bi yala ka pogba gole bi ka dona gole bi e banka yala mbona bi te palo ne Kena wanya blama mang kapombo chiring mpuman samang to wala enka bala wane bunde bombona ka legume variety au ti benga na tatana o wana kena wada ki ya biala bla amang galing somi ki yala na bantare nimbiri so bompana kona na e kumban vale ya wata ka ma na banko na ay shekewa batere bunde bombona ka agreement with the farmer Analaba on a dear Bama being one sign inside a book, Kunai, Tomprete, mean Tomprete. You can more Gaka, Bungala, Yahuya, Lope, Adik John, I. Bumpana Bunter Bundabomonaca, cost sharing. Kina e tofa, come me tofa. Karajabang, Badian, Likanli. Chaka Bakan and Lik, Aduhayang, Jawra Labla. So Bumpana, Kakino, Dana Bungaja, I can cover ka. Amin bantara dimbiri bantara bunda bambona ka capacity building kina e kwara iga school ibaga school kono wanyi kina bantara yala bana wuli adore a wuli swere na tu ki yala bantara dimbiri so ama jambe ba yala ne bamba anaka mba kipu na tonga kipu wa yala ko membie bunda bambona ka soil conservation blana tan na ye agu titingba no kota san yala pampana ki bati fertilizer eng Timbo, Ekumanyu no, Abanko, and Yanimri. So I'm a jaba, my era. Chu Yelenka, Yunanga Awana 2025. Bayalang and away Baha. So Kinambo Yelaja Ibasang, Nanila, War Ansan and Kiga, Luring Aga, Abang Ayala Carter and Nimbri. To, Kalma, we'll stop here, Genting, then you continue.
Excellent. I think we'll welcome another round of questions from the open forum. And then we'll seek some answers. I particularly want to hear from the farmers on how this is impacting your yields, and then what solutions you would want development partners to bring on board for you. And for those that have been talked about already, how helpful they will be. Mind you that there are exhibitions outside, so some of the things that they've talked about, you can connect with them, take some phone numbers, and let them help you with some solutions to some of the problems on the farms.
You can come forward. So
let me see all the hands that have questions. 1, 2, 3. So 3, and then we take answers.
Okay.
Let's make the comments and questions very short and straight to the point. That way we can hear everybody. Please
Thank
go.
You. Yeah. My name is Alfonso Sabobo from the Regional Department of Agri, representing my regional director. I'm happy to be here, and when the ambassador and the GBC director is here, I would like to plead for them to liaise with GMET, but their information to our farmers is very limited. And this is the moment we actually need information to our field officers so that they can give good and accurate advice to our farmers. But sometimes, like there's a platform which I am fortunate to be inside, but they predict only for the regions. They'll say Upper West, Wa, and whatever happened at Tumu or Lora or Wa here is captured as Wa. So sometimes you tell farmers that, oh, it's likely to rain. And then when it does not rain in their locality, they say you are a liar. But they expect that once you say it's going to rain, it will rain in their community. Meanwhile, they are capturing any community in Upper West. Once it's rained there, it will rain in Wa. So if we could actually liaise with them to improve on that for the ministry, it will help.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
We'll take the next.
Then the other plea is to our teachers. If we were talking about the youth involvement in agriculture, one of the bigger disincentive is most schools you go, and when they're punishing a student, they say go and weed. So it makes the student to feel farming is a punishment from the school. They already cultivate that in their mind. So when they come out and say go to farm, they think, no, you want me to go after studies to go back and be punishing myself. So if the teachers could at least change their mode of punishment to the students than using farming as a means of punishment. Thank you.
We'll take the next comment.
Yola Said Rapid. My question lang manon joya. Pampana. Ya yele sa gas yela kadama habasuma. Pampana kenang ma katunong awkwa a gas. Niaja chan adar nang kumba viang ma ho anu so. Pampana lang anga common memo via kadara tong maha because season timbinga jagabu nyambuye na mampe ka ka sima biebe biwa ke nan ko te batar piango te jana tar piango na da kulun aw ka kama na ke nan ko kama na ki bai ma kulun me e kan ya bon ya chayal ka te tan ma hadara adare ya ana man karmin mamine nan balabana ban man ma ha apara sala amanda kamana amwa mosa akwabi bamindi so men yala mamanta lawla.
Shortly, he's saying that it's not practical to say don't cut trees because they're the poor people. If they don't cut trees, how will they survive? A woman must cut trees to come at least put some dessert on the table for the children.
Hello. Mbamine tendeme. Nadam pohe ya baraka. Apohe ne mine ana na poba. Ana bale maha. Ana gara. Tu poha la bla. Chamenya awayal man yandibi. Te nasar to turba ngani bitora. Yemo wana program kanga. Yabenya a bunga grege program ngamine awena kora. On say ka tikwa eka man ta ku yawon bon ko ika bunye yanka tikwa eka ke no suntin nu kuolu man ta ku yawon ika bunye man tikwa ika yi abura awana nga kuolu ja bagwa ana yala benga yala na ka benga ngana ka na wuri say ka kwa ke yala ka kuolu mbata ku yawon da kuolu ke yala ka ntiala hebiala yanwa yala kamba mba njini mba na njini mba lima njini obata akuyanga kudele uwa dele yanwa yana tinja kwa hanu ani yuori yale ogatu yuora tira la hata number ju kopi ani ba woji me yala mantu yan yala gara la bla.
I'm very interested in this story.
He said, look, you the people here, the Karachi, are the cause of their problem because they bring laudable programs. For example, in his community in Accra,
please let's.
Hello.
Because of the language, we want to understand each other. And the German ambassador is also listening to some of the submissions. So please, I know you understand what he said, but for the benefit of those who do not, please allow the translation to go on in silence.
In his community, Nakori,
he is capable of doing only 1 acre. Then will I say deception is too strong a word? You come to tell him that go beyond 1 acre. He does it, then you say you give him fertilizer. Failed promises. So what is it that we are talking about?
Failed promises. On whose part?
On the part of those who come to promise.
Okay.
So
perhaps Mubarakata extension officers, we will find out what promises are you making to the people that you are not keeping. But hold the thought, there's still one more person here.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm Jeremiah Bontrabatengan. In fact, I really enjoy the program. If we actually go by what our speakers says, it will actually help us. But I just want to add something, whether it is also practically that can also help the climate change, which we call it circular economy, by using our waste product to reuse, especially if you go to the poultry industry, starting from the farm to the poultry, and then getting the poultry drops to go and then get organic manure in our field. Currently in Watam, those who are using the timber, they are using the waste product of the sawdust as fuel, and it's very, very economical. If you use the sawdust with the local cylinder, you can cook your dessert, cook your soup, and then heat your water for the whole family to use with that same small sawdust. So I think this circular economy can also bring one of reliefs of this climate change, and then the value chain of the soya beans in the poultry production. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, nyanga korala oyalenka kinoga kapinta jeno tunane kuno mahadara no muhumene mayini John alere anabam wanaka sawdust ko yalega to wulka karnan bande ana sawdust nga amala awo bun karban malbunga sala o sontene batara nuora mamba o sumambla ina ban male sawo adugo kuwanka ne ya su ana tatana so umbana ya kake nan karnan lok dite hakla imbing alotin ma hadara na tuwa nan climate problem nga ajana gang so umbana ya bunga to pambana anche blanga tanayin karuma ne cha ni ka ngaye ku yi agric Minister of Food and Agriculture municipal bora ye daw na yel ka una koro an eka yanwo belmo bika belmbuna na aben we kai ai cheka sumbu kun wana ado ko boro ko yel yala ana yala ade jakala yala inan bebe yenimbe.
Yes, Madam Mubarakata will respond to that particular issue.
Okay. What my brother came out to say is true. It's not promises, it's government interventions that is planning for food and jobs. And because it's always government program, it's always about we, the agri staff. We will do the registration of the farmers, go to your farm to map the area that you said you will cultivate, and we all will be waiting for government to bring the fertilizers to the farmers. That is what I can say on what he said.
Ya barka aja nimber ambicha mbalansa o yeto korana kanga ambi wa municipal from Nokore ukoyen karaman wana yala sonho bi government man wana yala sonho chaga la sonho anti pelem puri anaka ma Mubarakata on yala na yala manga to on yala tunu ammo register no banna cha kyon bu man chiti sang chal kanga sanan karaban la ka nasare ma yalanka chieftains are costly. Chieftains are costly. Mbasere wala mana yalbla nan wale. Arha bonda arha. Cho mantare twara. Yalan balansa nota ansanan ko banla. Kaka kolon da beto no sen warda wa kwie. Chara telefen kar puo men san. Ka government wadana to no daro kanga. Chaka no daro omba wa wien. Mbalansa kina da man ko aba eno kolon. Awen ko ro puo. Kagame to ki ku no ku kwolun
Unambo wana kwonu chungo puom. Chatwana chu anantwana puom.
Okay.
Tavenki posa and did kayon lota kidoko. To swana munkawa. Barka raja.
He's saying that if they register you and then they're unable to bring it on time, let's keep hope alive. So keep hoping against hope. Balance. Okay.
Right. I think we'll wrap up. I'll allow all the members on the panel to make their final submissions. The key things from the second round of comments we received was for teachers not to use farming as punishment for students, and that submission is hinged on the fact that using that as a means to punish students makes it difficult for them to accept farming as a profession going forward. Someone said it's not practical to expect that cutting of trees for charcoal felling will be stopped because that's how TZ remains on the table, and we can't have TZ not on the table. We've already addressed the issue about promises by officials, and the last comment about using waste as fuel, incorporating the circular economy into practical steps to solve climate change issues is also very, very topical. So I'll start with the immediate person right beside me, Sumaila. Your final comment on the perhaps a message, because you are a farmer yourself and listening to all the things that we've said. What do you take away from this conversation?
Thank you so much. My take home is key. That the effect of climate change is now with us. We don't expect it. It's hitting us, and it's going to hit us more if we don't change our attitude. So with this, I encourage everybody to see that we need to embrace ourselves. How do we embrace ourselves? We need to adopt technologies. We need to use planting materials that are short in maturity. We also need to reduce the usage of chemicals, because if you use organic products like the poultry droppings, the animal dropping in our forests, it conserves moisture and also hasten the growth of the crop. And I also want to appeal through the German embassy to take it with government. We need clear-cut policy direction on agriculture.
A clear-cut policy direction on agriculture is the call from Mr. Sumaila. I will have the mic over to you, Ernest. And I just want to find out, you see, we keep talking about these resilience approaches. Are they affordable? And are they readily available? Because if you have an improved seed that you want to give a farmer, that farmer must be able to first afford it in order to use it.
Yes, I think you have taken the wind out of my sail. That was actually going to be my closing remarks. But to continue from where my brother left, all the projections on climate change suggest that the drought, the increase in temperatures are going to increase. The droughts are going to be worse. So we have to be ready. You talk about most of the deforestation that we see in the world are all due to commodity production. We are talking about charcoal, so we cut tree. We are talking about maize to eat, so we cut the tree and plant the maize. We are talking about all the commodities that we have. So we can't live without these commodities, and they are also destroying our environment. So the best way to go is sustainable value chains. Now, sustainability measures are also sometimes also come with some costs. And this is where we need incentive for farmers. So for instance, just one typical example, we say that communities should plant trees and use it to produce charcoal. But the next community gets the wood for free. So what would be my motivation for me to plant a acacia tree, take care of it for 4 years and cut it, burn the charcoal and sell it in the same market that the other guy got the wood for free. It doesn't motivate me. So then we will all cut. But when we have incentives for green markets and we encourage sustainable production, then we can all get to where we are going to. So yes, incentives like in a form of subsidy, in a form of crop insurance and all that is important for us to get to where we have to get to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mubari, what's your final word to farmers? You're an extension officer, so you understand the today problems perhaps even more than we do. What do you have to tell farmers?
Okay, what I have to also tell farmers is that we have to stop the persistent bush burning and use good agricultural practices such as cover cropping, crop rotation, mulching, and then crop diversity, and then agroforestry. Planting crops in addition to planting of trees. And what my take home is, I want benevolent organizations to organize more capacity building trainings on climate change so that we can also create the awareness to our able farmers. Thank you.
Right, and final word, Maria. So what are the low-hanging fruits? Because we've talked about a lot of solutions. What can farmers do today which would be practical and go a long way in combating climate change? And then you add your final comments and we'll wrap up.
For farmers, what they can do, my sister, I can tell you they are doing most of it. They are doing most of it. Yes. Oh, I lie, farmer pride. They are doing most of it, but they should just keep at it. The tree planting, the going with the best agronomic practices, keeping the environment. Yes, they are doing that. But yes, so I would encourage the youth to get into agric, like we said earlier. And for the advocacy and sensitization, I just saw something here, which might be my take off. When the artists came to sing, people who were outside, they came in. How can we make use of that to do the sensitizations, to get people to know what exactly they are supposed to be doing and get them on board? Get the artists to have music that is in tune with climate change issues we are talking about. Yes, the music he was singing were things that had to do with lifestyle and things to get us going. So we should encourage the artists to have songs in this area, and we use it to sensitize, because once they are singing, people are out there and they are listening. And I saw people were singing along. So how do we get that out to get everybody involved? That is my take home for me from this engagement. Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much. I think Saidu will do a quick translation and then we'll wrap this all up.
So, Tiamba Heti Yalane, Ka Bansuba Bayalbaha, Kanajatere Welbaha na Yale, Ka Mbasumela Yale, Ka Karnanjing Ayaka, Ana Sa Wawari Lehobana Tana, Ka Bayel Matimi Hitimbenna, Ka Aye Yalanga and Bibi, and second Karabamame, Cha Olo Yaleno Nasarbera, Ka adopt technology. Blanetin na iwanang yala pana bi yala an siganin karbang apana blanetin na asaladara kina menga ke ko tati bora bunga bumburanga anna kawha pamana tetere kamana chura nin taranko na wala na tibora anana te chura yobe to mba enes mil yalenka ka Dunja bana shekar bunna ban yalaka affordable kaniya ban dawbe anyo to uyanka yala ja wuliyenka ana climate change yalanga tin yalanga sono yeme dan kumban chibe aw karnan gara so wala tinna shekaniya ja taka jogo only yala ka deforestation entinya dawo an cha adid karantiya no an chiara asana Kawala ina because ina mboro jung ai talawanin kabunga sustainable value chain bunne yan kona anana wana peti puni shekar twa plantin na asunta mehi ka bantar nimbiri to ka ma mubarakata ka talmataki mambo na ka muba welin ka karnan bora ka yalatar nimbiri te palonga agrato laka
mochong bush burning into ta at an imonyanya ongabika bulula wan chemo en asanji jama bi ni ñu sigari obako din bere newo e ko eblande ba ka jetar ka habab usayang on lo wanan bun kanga ka bunga ka crop diversity bana sarin man biya bere ya crop diversity an ka kinan wadiyan ko ta anti dip kamana yo anra boyala kanga paha kamana ingan ka kamana la ka bengala ana diversity ni bumbura bura ke kwa alo yale ka agroforestry kinan wa kwora kamana cha bamblana enna e asale dara ka dara man bantar future bambana kinan banye timantare pulhi bamande enna electricity kinan ban kwa 1 acre kanga ja ulai spam bi ka ho ban pare 50 years gwamnati na wada ebla no wada wa emin na nye buhu to niana anda yala pulajula ka cha mo ba mi ka building of capacity for farmers nga bi korba to wana ba agulbo so para bi so pana tuche ki ngani e boba nga na banye tata ba hababla cha anaka dawele ka e mo wata ya ka ko ikayayi o membunye no mbang ajin chalaha adu no mo bunga luang aba wana to shi karbiru capacity ko ba Maria uyanka buka ka korba na ba ka yala na tiya ka korba ene badan era babamang abibe ka yala kan ala digangan tin era cha uyanka bulanatin nai umintare na sariyo good agronomic practice mbaba bulan man na maho bulan enna ko bu yala usunti jenga kituche good agronomic practice anam blanatin nay adabe bilini banana ambitu purene ko min pe de burka chala akora jina ne ma en aiga galamse intare ndaw kaga che mamba mo man ga kanti bo ndo bile ku ga charapon ku ga galamse jine galamse man sifa uven ka kobo an wana yala to nte yala ja ambibe talmataki
Pomanjo, thank you so much. Your translation is so flawless. It's like music in my ears. I'd like to say a big thank you to all of you for being on the panel and for all the people who also made contributions to our segment. Special thanks to you, Mr. Natoma Kipo, TechHas General Manager, Christine Bothet, Technical Advisor, GIZ Moab Northwest. Thank you for adding your voice to this panel. Maria Johanna Yorpor, Head of Business Department, Excellence Leadership Group, EXLA Group. Maria, thank you for making the time. Mrs. Mubarikata Yaya is an Agric Extension Agent at the Department of Agric. Dafia Mabusie East District. Mubarikata, thank you for making the time. Of course, Ernest Obeng joined rather late, but with quite insightful insights from GIZ as a technical advisor on the REACH project. And of course, Mr. Doho Smile, a commercial farmer, Sisala East Municipal, cultivating some 1,900 acres of farms, engaged in crops of all types. And of course, to you, Seydi Bomanjo, who has so ably translated this session to our viewers across social media at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and also to our listeners at Radio Upper West 90.1 FM. I am Thelma Taki. Thank you so much for being a part of this program, and I bring you thanks also from the German Embassy in Accra and also from the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. You can catch me every morning, Monday to Friday on GTV Breakfast, 5:55 a.m. to 10 a.m. I hope to see you very, very soon. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Let's hear it louder for them. Thank you, but please you remain because we'll go through our photo sessions. We really want to appreciate you so much. What we loved about it is that see the keen attention we paid. Nobody wanted to move anywhere. And if we had the chance, we would have stayed till 7. But you know at a point in time we must cut it. But it shows that the conversation should be continuous. We should keep raising it. We have the people here too who are doing so. We are wrapping up in a moment, but we had the rep from RCC to add a short comment before we call the German ambassador to also add the voice, and then we wrap up, and then we'll be calling the photos then everything will be done. But don't forget the exhibitions are there so that you get it. So let me invite Mr. J. Abogri from the RCC. He says it's very short. Maybe it's even less than 1 minute.
So, near Regional Coordinating Council,
Your Excellency, the German Ambassador, Director General GBC, Namie, or Namine. Farmers, good afternoon. I bring you warm greetings from the Honorable General Minister, Ambassador Honorable Stephen Yakubu, ambassador in the sense that he was one time Ghana ambassador to Morocco. He thought that he was going to make a statement here, so they wrote a very long one. I said, no, I was just coming to listen and speak on his behalf. Ambassador, he has assured me that he will be with you this evening. That definitely will have an engagement with you at the appointed time. He asked me to present three messages to three different groups. One, to our farmers. One, climate change is affecting all of us. And some of them are due to our own attitudes. They mentioned bush burning, cutting down of trees, of late polythene bags flying left and right everywhere. Then the issue of our Fulani herdsmen. Last 2 weeks, he asked me to represent him at St. Louis with some Fulani herds people, and I told them, we do not hate them. It's their attitude, their behavior that we don't like. Then you farm, then you push their cattle through your farm and destroy everything. That's our problem. It is not that we don't want to let them exist. Again, he also said that the chiefs have a role to play in this regard, cutting down of trees, bush burning, and even construction works. In fact, I was here several years back, in 96 to 2003. I know our father Wadia did a lot of earthworks, but he made sure that he turned them into duck houses and dams for us. That one we applaud them. But some of them finish and destroy the environment. And lately, somebody mentioned Galamsey. So the chiefs will have to take that upon ourselves to educate our people. In your gatherings, your traditional activities, let our people know. And you know that the RCC, one important thing we play is peace and security. If there's no peace, there's no security, we can't survive. It also leads to destruction of farms and everything, because people have to move. As they move, they burn, they cut trees. You're all aware what happened recently in Wahia, and even Wa West and Wa East. Minister is not happy with that. He asked me to inform you that let everybody put our acts together. We need peace, and we're all aware that this year is election year. Election comes with their own problems. The youth and the students want to charge you. They'll come around. Don't be misused. We have only one Wa, we have only one Upper West, we have only one Ghana. We can't afford to be in flames. So please, ask me to urge all of you, play your part very well. Yes, the voting day you have to vote. All of us have to vote. But should that lead us to conflict? Should that lead us to fight? The other thing he has asked me to tell you is that we do not maintain a facility that they have constructed for us. We talked about the dams, we talked about schools and the rest. We have let them run down. I remember when I was here, we constructed a dam at Ladayele, Bulinga dams, all of them are no more. Dams, not that house, because we misuse them, no maintenance. And so our farmers are crying for water to do all year farming, and we're not using it. Again, here we'll have shallow waters. We don't make use of them like in Upper East. The Boko Belt, you go and you use shallow wells to cultivate onions with buckets and what do you call jerrycans, and they make it. You go from Nabrongo to Boga through Sumbrongo and the rest, and you see people standing with eggs on what do you calabash selling. But here we're not taking it seriously. So we talk about alternative sources of income, livelihood. So panel members, particularly the agricultural officers, let's look at it from that angle, can we? And then the facility we have constructed. I was part of the team, this ASIP and the rest, who came here, gave guinea fowls to people to farm. When they left, nothing. Let's not forget that the donors are going to be here forever. No. It's their taxpayers' money they're using to help us. The Germans will tell you our taxpayers' money they're giving to GIZ and GTZ to help us. So let's think outside the box. But he says that peace is paramount. Let's work for peace before, during, and after the elections. He thanks you for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for everything. And as we continue to say thank you, there is something we didn't mention when we spoke about our panelists. In fact, Mr. Smiler is the regional best farmer. We didn't acknowledge him. Mr. Smiler, please get up and let's happy. So we have something good with us here. We should tap into all the good things we are doing. At this point in time, we would like to say a very big thank you to you all for joining us for this very, very important program. As mentioned earlier, we must end, but it is just a pause. We want you to continue the conversation wherever you find yourself. And we also want you to put into action all that we need to do to get things happening for us. From Nakori to Doom to all the other communities, we want to see action. And for the young people, please take up the action so well. Because as one said, whatever we are doing now, it's not just for the older generation because they will be gone by a certain time. But the real impact will be felt by the younger ones. We don't want that one to happen. The land is for us all now and in the future. At this point in time, His Excellency, the German ambassador, will give us a short piece of information before we wrap up, take our pictures, and then we look at what is also available. His Excellency, Daniel Crew.
Wow, this was intensive, wasn't it? Yes. Thank you very much for your interest and your patience, traditional leaders, farmers, students, listeners, viewers out there from Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Let me start my very short summary with a word of thanks. A word of thanks to our moderator tonight, to Telma. And thank you so much for your amazing, charming and competent guiding and trying to keep this broadening agenda together. And you managed, nobody left the room, it was mentioned earlier, and this is also thanks to you. Thank you very much, Telma. Great job, amazing. And at the same time, I'm very happy to hear that you have been here in the region before this event. You have been out in the field. So we brought Ghana Breakfast TV to VAR. I think that's also a very good reason. And I'm sure you will take a lot of observations home, and this will be a seed that will grow over time in your breakfast show, and you will certainly not forget people here in VAR. Thank you so much. A big thank you to, it's about climate talks, it's about talking, but it's also about listening, and I was in the listening mood. And I hear clearly you said something about seeding, how did you say that? A seed capital for women. I would like to follow up with you on that. And thank you so much, and good luck to you and your 1,500 farmers you are cooperating with. European countries, and Ernest, thank you very much for sharing your input. Mubarikata, Yaga, and Maria, you mentioned the music, and I take home three important things. Number one, climate change is a huge challenge, and Ernest, I think you now, but it might become worse. So we have to keep on talking, and not only talking, but also trying to find solutions. So that's number one. Number two, farmers are fully aware of what's going on and are open and desperately trying to find the right answers. And so we have people out there who want to work hard and find solutions, of course, for them, for their families, and for their folk. The region, and this is an integral part of the idea of climate talks, to combine intensive discussions about environmental aspects with some art and music. And the third thing I take home, the very amazing energy we... So in concluding, I'll take home the complexity of the issue. Thelma, you probably agree, is even bigger than I ever thought, and it has been touched upon so many aspects, including security issues that are related to all this. So you can look at climate from very, very different angles. And then summarize, I would like to say, let's keep on talking, and climate change will not stop tomorrow. We need to keep on talking and listening and work together for a better future. Thank you very much.
And thank you so much, sir. The vision lives on, because this is just the first talk. So we are telling you that you can still monitor what is happening, because the cross-connected issues will be affecting us all, no matter where we find ourselves. So we've had a lot of the thank yous, and on behalf of the Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and also our Regional Director who is supported, we've eaten into their time. I won't tell them, but he's aware, so once he's here, he will agree to be with us some other time. Now, we had in the studio too DJ Rahman. He said, you mentioned people, I'm here trying to push them. Yes, you can hear the applause coming from here, so it shows that they appreciate you so much. It's time for us now to line up for the very important pictures. And I'll please love the table right in front here. Did I say table? They are on chairs without a table. But the high table, we want to describe it. To please join us up here together with the panel members as we begin the series of pictures. Isaac, if you are around, if you can support us with the pictures. So, His Excellency, then Prof. Salomote, Hajara, if you can join here, and then Nakori, if you can please come over, Pogna, and then all the rest, if you can please join us up here to take the pictures. Yeah. If the photographers can help us arrange ourselves well. If we can please now have the farmers. The farmers. So studio, if you can please hear us. Now we are handing over to you as you continue with normal programming, but still mentioning all the important messages. We saw some of of the student farmers. So the student farmers, if you want to join, and please DG and His Excellency, if you can join the farmers. Together with DG as we get the students. They are looking forward to the future for us. When we are no more in charge, they will take charge. And we want them to remember this occasion. Agenda. On behalf of Save the Momanjo and myself, we really appreciate all the support. But please, when you finish, you can sit. And please, when you finish, you have to sit. Don't go away. Don't go when you finish, just get back to your seats. DG, please, Prof, and His Excellency, we can take the last one together with the panel here. For you, and then as we move out, we'll be looking at the exhibition to, as mentioned, my name is Kingsley Obinchre from Accra, but working with GDC across the country. That is what I always say. And we also had here.
So, we got to number the Columbia Accra. Check in on the UK, can you mean a kayak? Hello, Tabaho, one of your one. Kana namina ya jinsana anu a school be get all students out for the time being. What about the Mineyaji?
Spiritually, physically, look at my heart. Anybody? like a father, and I'm gonna love you like my mother. I don't say you are my number one. If I don't say you are my number one, baby, oh girl. If I don't say you are my number one. I see in my dreams every night and day, every evening of you, girl, I'm a follow. You're gonna treat you like my sister, respect me like a father, and I'm gonna love me like my mother. Treat me like a father, and I'm gonna treat you like my sister, respect me like a father, and I'm gonna love you like my mother. Yeah, mother, if I don't say you are my number one, mother, if I don't say you are my number one, mother, if I don't say you are my number one. If I don't say you are my number one, if I don't say you are my number one, if I don't say you are my number one. New music born in Africa, come let's after God is well. We need to jubilate, listen to what they sing, and just how we sing. Oh sing sing, oh yeah, oh sing sing, oh, to make you move your body, to make you move your body. I will sing sing, oh yeah. Oh Zizi Moya, it's your kind of music. Oh Zizi Moya, it's my kind of music. The movie's alright, let's groove it all night. Don't get so lazy, yes, something so crazy. Listen to what they sing, and just how they sing. I was Zizi Moya, oh Zizi Moya, music oh Zizi Moya, I was Zizi Moya. And to make you groove your body, to make you rock your body, to make you groove your body. I was Zizi Moya. To the rhythm, swing your arms, move your feet to the rhythm. But the rhythm is too hard to resist. But this rhythm is too hard to resist. After jumping to the rest, we've got to jump the best. After dancing to the rest, we've got to jump the best. We're gonna run for forever. We're gonna run some too. We're gonna run forever. We're gonna jump some too. We're gonna run forever. After dancing to the rest, we've got to jump the best. After dancing to the rest, we've got to jump the best. I was sing, oh yeah, to make you move your body. I was sing, oh yeah, oh sing, oh yeah, oh sing, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh sing, oh yeah, oh sing, oh yeah. Chico, Oda, if I bear and say Bakubo, if I pray to Chassi, Ona pray, it's in a beacon, if I bear and say Bakubo, it's a party for crowd one kadamaya. Oh, you got out kadamaya. Obuduma one kadamayo. About everyone, woman, me in the pan chico.